Hello and welcome to Health Matters on Channels Television. It's great to have you join us today. I am Mary Alale Yusuf. Mental disorders may be many and varied, but can generally be characterized by abnormal thoughts, emotions, perceptions, behavior, and relationships. Bipolar disorder, a mental condition, is a chronic disease which was estimated to be the 7th leading cause of non-fatal burden globally in 1990. Currently, the World Health Organization puts the number of people affected by it at about 60 million worldwide. There's a consultant psychiatrist here with me from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba. He's the immediate past chairman of the Medical and Dental Consultants Association. He's the current coordinator of both the Suicide Research and Prevention Initiative, SERPEN, and the Staff Emotional Care Services at LUTH, Dr. Raphael Ogbolu. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Can you describe to us what bipolar disorder is?
Bipolar disorder is a psychiatric condition, a mental health disorder, where, as the name suggests, people swing between poles of emotions. On one pole you have depression, on the other pole you have mania. And sometimes these symptoms of these can occur at the same time or in alternation in different episodes. So that's basically
why is something called mania? To us, that means madness. You know, people say he's a maniac, you know.
Yes, that's the late usage of the word. But in psychiatry, it actually means a condition where the person has changes in mood which the person can't really control. Is associated, as the name suggests, bipolar disorder. It's two swings between two mood disorders.
Okay.
Depression is a mood disorder, mania is also a mood disorder. Of course, depression is typically a low mood, but for mania, the person's mood is elated. The person is euphoric.
He's happy.
Okay? Extreme, not just happy, be extremely happy. Okay, the kind of happiness you can't contain. It's just overwhelming. Okay, and because of this, it dictates the person's behavior. The person will behave along that line. Sometimes it also is associated with irritability. The person easily gets irritated, slightest thing ticks the person off. So that elated mood now results in other manifestations, such as the person no longer has any need for sleep. Typically, if you sleep for 2 or 3 hours, you wake up in the morning, you don't feel refreshed. Mm-hmm. But the person who has mania feels refreshed. It's like he slept. It doesn't affect the person. The person is unduly energetic, so much energy. The person could walk miles, kilometers, and not feel tired.
Is this associated with any drug usage?
Not at all. It's not. It is something that could occur as a combination of genetic, environmental, and other factors. Sometimes, of course, I mean, there could be genetic loading. Okay, so to some extent, it could be passed on to offsprings. Okay, so just like depression as well. Bipolar disorder could be inherited, the predisposition, but it doesn't mean you will naturally develop it.
So this person is swinging between being extremely excited, mania, to being very depressed.
Very depressed, very sad, low mood.
Do they occur together sometimes?
Sometimes you will have the mixed type.
That would be really stressful.
Yes, where it does occur, you have both features of depression and features of mania occurring at the same time. But typically, they come in episodes. One episode goes, another one comes. And the problem with it is because it's associated with some things that will affect the person's life, okay, put the person's life either at risk, okay, or the life of others. Someone who is extremely happy, excited, becomes disinhibited. Things that he or she would not ordinarily do,
okay,
he or she will do.
So it is like taking drugs when there's mania, or like drinking. Inhibitions,
yes,
you know,
exactly.
slowly give way.
Yes, it becomes
and the person begins to have reckless type of behavior.
Reckless, risk-taking behavior. You will see the person driving at, terribly high, very high speed on the roads. Okay, the person, someone who is manic, could take decisions that he or she will later regret. You could have someone who has a mania decide to sell property worth millions for just hundreds because
do they know when this is happening?
The person entirely knows, but because of the mood state, the judgment is impaired. So you don't apply the appropriate judgment that you should. Okay, you have sometimes when it's really bad, the person could also have psychotic features. Not all manic conditions have psychotic features.
And psychotic features are what?
Now, the two main ones are you have hallucinations, okay, hearing or seeing things that are not there. Or you believe things that are not based on reality. I give you an example. Somebody who has mania could believe that he's the president of the world. And as far as the person is concerned, that is what the person believes.
And he will go on to behave as such.
Will behave that way. And so that's what usually when it's gotten to that point, or when the delusions are associated with it, we call it grandiose delusions. The person enhanced self-worth.
Oh yes, we've heard of illusions of grandeur.
Exactly. The person believes, I'm the president of the country.
Can that get dangerous, such that the person has to be restrained?
That's usually what now makes people bring them to the hospital. Either the extreme irritability, okay, because they are very irritable, the person will beat the spouse, will beat the children at the slightest, a provocation. Sometimes unprovoked, okay, and then sometimes when it now gets to a point where the person has delusions and is acting out. Somebody who believes, he's the president and takes a drive to Aso Rock. Of course, that's going to get the person in trouble.
Wow, yes.
Okay, and there's things like that that make them
bring them to the hospital. But assuming a person is normal, or what we call normal, behaves like anybody else, could drug abuse lead to bipolar disorder?
Just like most other psychiatric conditions. Okay, remember I said the causes are a combination of genetic, environmental, and psychological factors. Now, sometimes drug use can precipitate an illness, can precipitate a psychiatric illness which someone is already predisposed to.
Okay, but the predisposition must be there.
Usually it's already there. Okay.
Now, how early in life does this happen? And does it affect men more than women? You know, how is it distributed?
Roughly equally, but for instance, it's stated that about 1.5 million Nigerians will have bipolar episode
1.5 million?
Annually.
Oh, annually. That means extra every year?
No. People who have it, okay, statistics about 1.5 million. Okay?
Every year.
So it's not as common as depression, okay, but it's just as common as you said, 60 million worldwide, depression 322, but it's because it could be also very impacting, the implications on the person and the family and the society.
I imagine such a person cannot work.
Most of them could just resign from their jobs because they feel, hey, this job is just too little for me. I'm bigger than this, and I can't take it all. Because of the extreme irritability, the boss says something and the person just can't take it and just leaves and walks out.
But you didn't say how early it can happen.
Yes, it could occur from teenage years, and it spans actually, usually more typically between 14 up to 60 even. So it spans quite a lot of decades of their years. Okay, so we have some who are young. Typically, they will present to us in the 20s, all right, in the hospital, because by that time, a lot of behavioral issues have started to manifest. It's unlikely that for the first time someone will be appearing with mania in above 50 or 40.